Hello there, Jenveev, and welcome to the Sentence Guide course. Well done for getting this far already. You've clearly done a decent amount of work. Good luck with your exam, and let's see if we can get you that score that you want. I'm assuming that you want over a 7.5 like everybody else, and that you are working hard to get there. I've already had a look through your essay, and it looks very well structured. It looks like you've stuck to paragraphs very, very well. And it actually seems like you've got some good ideas. What I'm going to do today is read through your essay, and I'm going to correct it on screen. I'm going to try my best to explain myself as I go along, but I'm not going to send you the text file. The reason for that is that if you want to copy out the corrections, I want your brain to have to do it. So you're going to have to actually read through it, process it, and listen, and do the corrections for the next essay. What this will achieve is a slow series of improvements over all of the essays. So let's get started, shall we? If you have any questions about any of this, feel free to pop them in an email to us, and we'll do our best to get the answers back to you as soon as possible. So first of all, nowadays, in this fast-paced life, because everyday living and life, fast-paced life, everyday living, they are the same thing. And in IELTS, or in English generally, we try our very best not to repeat ourselves. So nowadays, in this fast-paced life, it is argued that communication has become less active. Fewer is for specific numbers, less is for abstract concepts. How active or inactive something is, you cannot quantify, so it's less active. Unquantifiable quantities. For family members, I firmly believe with this idea that the person's ability to communicate is being affected So let's say that we need to get rid of that because that's unnecessary. That people's ability to communicate is being affected, so it's by some factors, not to some factors. So what have you said? We could say then, the only problem is that some factors is kind of ambiguous. So let's say several factors, but let's be more specific. So let's say that it's being negatively affected by several factors. So this communicates the idea that you're of the opinion that communication is reducing because of several factors. In this essay, so let's say we will cover some reasons as to how. If we're talking about reasons, it's the reason as to how an individual. So the reasons as to how an individual's type of work and technological advancements. Let's say how a demanding work life In this essay, we will cover some reasons as to how a demanding work life and technical advancements can affect or can detract from normal family life. So to detract, to take away from. If we detract from something, we take away from it. So if I detract from normal family life, that I am removing something from it that's important to it. We can detract from many things. At school or work, if you become distracted, so if you succumb to a distraction, that can detract from your work and have a negative effect on your grades and results. So firstly, the type of institution and working schedules of a professional greatly affect. Let's stick to the non-gendered pronouns. So their family relationship. His or her is just a bit much. This is due to the fact let's say the modern workplace to draw attention from your time is sort of okay, but controls you to be contained on your area of assignment. I would say the modern workplace demands so much as to focus the employee entirely on professional matters. Take for example, so this here is actually take, for example, health providers like doctors and nurses, and I would use such as doctors and nurses. So what we could say here we've said the type of institution and working schedules of a professional greatly affect their family relationships. This is due to the fact that the modern workplace demands so much as to focus the employee entirely on professional matters. Take, for example, health providers such as doctors and nurses, who during the course of their duty will not keep a cell phone on their person. On their person is to keep something on you physically. If you have a wallet in your pocket, your wallet is on your person. If your phone is in your hand, it is on your person. If it's at home, it is not on your person. So here, this sentence has now gotten quite long. So I don't want to put more on it, but I still need to put some more in. So I'm going to instead use two sentences separated by a semicolon. This ensures that they are not distracted from their duties. Therefore, less family time while working happens even when you want it to. So what we're saying is that family time is reduced when we are working, whether we like it or not. And that's good because it summarizes our paragraph really well. It is clear that work has a significant impact on personal relationships. So we say anything that's not professional is personal. But now we have two perfect paragraphs. They are cohesive, coherent, they're good size, they flow well. This is now excellent. I mean, your work is already very, very good, but we've smoothed it out a little bit. So, next paragraph. Secondly, living with high technologies and the boom of upgraded gadgets is part of our lives. We are supposed to it. So, living during the technological revolution has become such an important part of our lives that we have become slaves to it. So these were mainly just grammatical errors. Let's not forget to use the past perfect if the things that we're talking about have occurred in the past. It has become, have become. Past perfect tense describes actions that have been completed in the past. This is because the internet caught our attention instead of reaching out our daily ones. This is because as the internet caught our attention, we began to neglect our loved ones. The rise of social media, not capitalized, has culminated in it becoming an intrinsic part of our daily routine. So you'll notice I'm sticking in some additional vocabulary. If you don't know what these mean just yet, that's cool. Look them up and have a read and you'll see just why they are good here. For instance, if you're using of, then it's the use of. Social networks like Facebook and Instagram provides us with a platform to chat with other people whom we do not, good use of whom we do not know, instead of doing so to our families. This is a platform to chat with new people instead of our families. So you see, sometimes I can take out words and it says the same thing. That's always good. If you can say the same thing with fewer words, it's good. It's efficient. As a result, we miss the opportunity to become closer to one another. I would use each other, because one another is usually used to refer to an interaction between two people. Each other is an unlimited number of people. More than two, each other, to one another. And build up good relationships. Here I would say, in conclusion, we can see from the real life examples being presented, communication skills are greatly. So you didn't need truly there because you've already got greatly here. Be careful of too many descriptive words. By how we live. Let's say, whether it be our busy work schedules or the manner in which we use social networking, our time has been divided in such a way as to produce a lack of intimacy let's say results in a lack of intimacy displayed to our loved ones. See, I like the fact that you've used opt here, but it doesn't quite fit. I don't think people voluntarily take things for granted, and to opt for something is to choose it. Result in a lack of intimacy displayed to our loved ones. I would say that we sometimes take for granted. Now there, it's taken some time because it was your first essay, we have a completed and a good high scoring answer. Have a good listen through for the minor corrections that we made. Lots of them will be small grammatical errors. Don't worry too much about these just yet. These will improve slowly over time. Put more effort into thinking about how to concisely express your sentences in few words. Don't use additional words or sentences to fill gaps. And always reread the sentence that you have just written to make sure that it expresses the idea that you intended. Then read the full paragraph to make sure that the paragraph is cohesive and that it displays the idea well. And try to integrate as many of the new words as you can. So let's quickly move on to your second one. So I'm going to just somewhat quickly go through this one to make sure that I'm not boring you. So I'll talk very swiftly and then I'll correct as I'm going. So there's changes to the first sentence. The acquisition of knowledge has been much discussed in recent years. Whether it would be more effective to learn through conventional ways such as reading, or through more modern practices such as gaming, is contentious. Contentious means there is disagreement. Okay, so I have done the same here. As you can see, I've just whizzed through the whole thing and provided you with a corrected version. So once again, I didn't actually notice many major errors. You express your ideas well. The only real thing is that we need to cut down on the number of words that you try to use to make sure that we can reduce your errors over time. Like I said, don't worry too much about your grammar errors just now. They will get better the more that you work. So make sure that you pay close attention to the corrections given in these two essays, when you send us your new essays, include your personal error list, so the list of mistakes that you made, as well as these essays corrected and your 2 new essays. But very, very, very well done, Jenveev. Thanks for sticking with us this far, and well done for these. They were very impressive. Get your next ones over to us soon. I'll speak to you as quickly as possible. Bye bye now.